7 o'clock, I will call this meeting of the New Philadelphia City Finance Committee to order. I see Mr. Kreinbill is in attendance.
Sure, Skip.
Well, we'll bring her in. Mr. Kreinbill is in attendance, he's on our committee. Mr. Lanzer is here as well on the committee, and alternate Mrs. Ramos has joined us as well. So, we got three major items to discuss tonight. The first one, I'm gonna move ahead in the agenda. It actually has to do with the resolution for the City of New Philadelphia's Resolution 23, 2024, entering into an agreement with the Director of Transportation for the completion of a project. And I'm gonna turn that over to the Service Director, Mr. Excuse me, Ron. Sorry about that. If you would take it from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you look at Resolution 23, 2024, I also passed out a price sheet for that. It's the second time we've awarded small cities money for paving. This year, we'll do Reeser Avenue, and that'll be from East High to 21st. Also, we'll do we'll do Union Avenue from the Dover city limits to Ray Avenue northwest. We'll do 2nd Street northwest from Ray Avenue to 2nd Street southwest to Front Avenue. And then we'll do Fair Avenue from 2nd to 2nd, Fair Avenue, 100 block of northwest and 100 block of northeast. And if you look at the breakdown there that you have in front of you for the Small Cities Phase 2, you got the local public agency funds. Construction is scheduled out to be at $976,545. Got some construction engineering at $68,358, with a total price tag of $1,044,903. And our portion of that is just less than $55,000, $54,995. I wish we did just do another application for small cities, but it was not awarded this time. So every chance we get to do it, we try to put in for it, because you can't beat doing $1 million worth of paving for $54,000.
No. Mr. Lanzer, this was originally in your committee. Do you have any questions for the Service Director?
No questions, just comments. Again, that, thank you, Service Director, for reaching out for these grants and be able to get $1 million worth of work pretty much for $50,000 at our cost. That's-
Well, thank you.
Mr. Grimble, any questions?
I'm good, thank you.
Anybody else, council members or Mrs. Ramos, any questions about this one?
Yes.
Okay.
So exactly what are they going to be doing on those, city streets? It says paving rehab, but it doesn't say exactly what's gonna happen. It talks about right-of-ways.
3-inch mill and fill on each one of the streets.
Grill and fill?
Mill and
Mill,
fill.
where they
Mill
grind
and
it
fill,
down.
okay.
Grind it.
So they're not gonna change the size of the streets or the structure of the streets or add bike paths or anything like that?
That's correct. Union Avenue will get striped like it came through in the, well, geez, those meetings we've had for months there.
For the
It'll
trail.
get striped, how it was laid out to be.
Yeah.
So to get striped for a bike path?
Yes.
But there'll be no additional construction to create
No,
space for that?
no, there's no taking any right of way. It's all within the confines of the road that it is now.
And that's gonna be, I think we were gonna, the parking was still supposed to be there as is, and the bike lane on the other side.
Yeah,
of
if you
parking.
remember correctly, just go curb to curb. You went from parking lane, bike lane, travel lane, bike lane, parking lane.
Yes, that's what I remember too.
Any other questions from
Oh,
council members,
well,
yes, go ahead.
Sorry. So Union Avenue would be more than Mill and Grill, would also be striped and repaved.
All of them would be striped.
Yeah, you're gonna put the stripes.
You gotta stripe them all back.
But Union would be striped for a bike path additionally.
Correct, like I spoke before, it will be laid out for that. But yeah, they all have to be striped back. They're all, right now, they're all double yellows.
Yes.
And they'll also, like, if you go up, if you just look at, say Ray Avenue and then Second Street, they'll have to also put in the parking stalls that are downtown, that are in that section there. Those will go back also. So it's just not, that's the only place they're gonna stripe. They have to stripe everything back. The parking stalls will go back on Second, like in front of, like Mary Zeifer's Pizza. You go down on the other block, in the Hunter block, the southwest side, we have meters in there, so that'll be striped back parking. And if you go on the Fair Avenue side and the 100 block, those each have meters in, so those will all be painted and striped back also.
And that's all part of this.
Yes, that's all,
Process.
yeah, it's all part of the process and the pay.
And I had one other question. Why does it say here that the LPA will pay for all this? But yet, we're only paying part of it, our funds.
I'm not sure about that. That's there in front of you, what we pay, the 5%. If he can change that language, that's Marvin to change it if you,
Because it sounds like we're paying for the whole million.
No,
dollars.
if you read it, it says further agrees to pay 100% of the cost of those features requested by the LPA, which you're requesting $54,995. That's the way I read it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the way it is.
Well, yeah.
Where, is that where you're seeing, Cheryl? On the second
I'm-
paragraph under section 2?
Unfortunately, I didn't mark it, but it said the LPA
Read-
agrees to assume and bear the cost of the improvements, which exceed the federal fund maximums for construction, engineering, as allocated by the state, which are outlined in the LPA federal ODOT-led project agreement that gives a number, which I haven't seen that agreement.
You're reading.
So that is one,
think you're-
2, 3, 4, section 2,
Section 2 at the end, second half.
the last
section-
sentence.
Yes, Mr. Lanza.
Wouldn't that be just if we decided to do anything above and beyond what we've already agreed to? with the-
Yes.
I mean, that's-
Correct, it's laid out.
That's just the way it's worded.
Yeah.
Oh, and then in the next one, it says the LPA further agrees to pay 100% of the cost.
Of
Yes,
any
of
change.
those
Of any
features
changes or upgrades
requested.
or-
Yeah, that's, so if we ask them to do something that's outside the scope of work, that's at our expense.
But I mean, it doesn't say any of this when, like Ron, you just said, the $55,000 is what we're gonna pay. It doesn't say,
That's all part of the agreement. I just didn't print out the whole agreement. This is the agreement that we're signing and send back to ODOT. This piece here that's the pay sheet.
would you be able to send us that number 42009 agreement?
Yeah, I'll send it all to you.
Okay.
Sure.
I just don't like blank slates. I'm glad you said something more about the plan.
Yeah, we've done it before. I mean, this ain't our first one as far as the small cities paving. Again, to get $1.1 million worth of paving for $55,000, we should all be jumping in the streets.
Yes.
It's not in the traffic.
Huh?
Just not in the traffic, right?
Yeah, just not in traffic.
Or in front of the steamroller.
Yeah, or in front of the roller.
Or a bike path.
I gotta agree with Cheryl, though, I mean, I didn't read any of this into it when I read it.
Yeah.
It didn't make, no, I'm in my first year. Second year, I'll be smarter, okay?
You only got like
I
7
promise.
days.
Next year, I'll be smarter than him.
Less than a week.
But, yeah, no, we're running out of time fast. I understand exactly what Cheryl's talking
Yeah.
about. There's a lot of vague stuff. When you send it to us, you could be a little clearer, and then now I understand. But I thought coming in tonight, I wasn't quite sure what the hell we were doing.
Can always ask.
And
Well, that's what,
No, I mean
I did
beforehand,
a
too.
week
Yeah.
ago.
yeah, well, some of the stuff we were getting in the mail today, you
Mm-hmm.
know, not this thing, but, okay. I'm good.
is this
Thank you.
our resolution, or is this something the state provides?
This is what the state provides.
This is what the state, I thought this was the state-provided resolution.
Do you need to pass?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have one more question. Why are we getting this at the last minute?
I'm not sure that's the way that Dan Lorenz sent it to me from ODOT. They're gonna sell it on 3/27, they moved the date up.
So it was originally supposed to be later.
Yes.
and
Yes.
So they're sending it to us to get us in,
Mhm.
okay.
Gotcha,
So we'll need to try to pass on first reading.
Right.
If possible.
if possible.
Mhm.
Other questions?
Yeah, we got 50,000? I don't know. We're at the end of the year.
That's a great question. This will be
Scraping
for
that
next, this
money
is
over.
next year.
It's in the budget.
Like a motion?
Yes.
Make a motion to add, resolution number 23, 2024 to tonight's agenda. And try to pass on first reading.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Mr. Crandall, are you in favor?
Absolutely, yes.
Mr. Lanzer?
Yes.
I am as well, so we will forward this tonight and add it to tonight's agenda and ask for suspension of the rules. 2024. Then we have ordinance 35, 2024, which is an ordinance by the council to adjust and amend our permanent appropriations ordinance for 2024. We would also like to, if we can, declare emergency and push this through tonight if we can. I'm going to defer to the auditor to speak to these appropriation changes and any questions that may come from the floor.
Thank you. A lot of these, you can see we were able to, they're in their personal services, their wage section. Many departments were going over budget, mainly because of we underestimated how much the medical insurance was going to increase, and it increased quite a bit. And a few of these, you can see we able to take the extra money from their all other lines. There are a couple, you know, that the law director, prosecutor's office, you know, a couple of those, they didn't have enough in there, all other to cover. So we do have to ask for additional. In the general fund, though, we're able to reduce the appropriations by, I just did a revised one, right before we came in. So we're able, for the whole general fund, reduce the appropriations by $10,345, overall. And then the other funds are just basically just cleaning things up over the last couple of months.
Right.
We might have, you know, with the CHIP grants, the OPWC grants, and those are money that, you know, comes in and goes out with the CHIP grant. The OPWC, that, the extra 500,000, that isn't money that actually hits our banks. That's just running through our books, those transactions. Is there any questions about any of those in particular?
And we're good to cover all of these changes.
Yes, yes.
So to
Anybody
clarify, because I got a couple of these, the last one, so the total amount we're removing, that we went over budget, would then be what?
Can you repeat that?
The total amount we went over budget, so like, we had our budget for last year, what's the total amount?
I'm actually reducing the general fund by $10,000, so, but, I mean,
You're essentially moving 190,437.81, right?
yeah, and a lot of that, well, you can see that the
From other line
500,000
items,
was
we're not
just.
we're not
We're not
actually,
adding or
we're not over
subtracting, we're
budget.
moving.
No,
We're not,
No,
so
and I
we're bringing
probably-
10,000 new money in to do this?
yeah, I probably shouldn't have put the grand total down there
That's what I
because,
was confused
like I
about.
said, the
That's what I'm asking.
500,000 for OPWC, that's not even money that we receive or pay out, it's just running
This grants we gotta
transactions.
show on our lines.
Right, right,
That's,
so,
that's what I wanted to clarify, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Question?
Other questions? Yes, go ahead, Sheriff.
Heather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, I'm a little confused on the bolded numbers. Some have a minus sign in front of them, and
Yeah, those ones are having their section of the budget reduced. So if there's a negative, so, you know, for the mayor's office, you can see total is 0, and that's because I'm moving $6,300 from all other to their personal services. You see law director, prosecutor, they have a positive, so they went over budget, so I need to pull money, add money to their appropriations. Let's see. Was there one in particular that you're looking at, or?
Well,
but-
yeah, just to start, municipal court, that it ended up on minus $50,000.
Yeah, they are under budget. They're $75,000 under budget, so I'm taking 50,000 from their budget and transferring that to, well, it would be law director, prosecutor, fire.
Okay, so the
Well-
minus is transferring to another
Right.
line
Yes,
item.
yes, and that's what you see for general fund, general fund total, there's a negative 10,000, so I'm actually
Right.
reducing the appropriations by 10,000.
The law directors was mostly insurance related.
Yes.
Good job, municipal court.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? Hearing none, do we have any action to be taken on ordinance 35, 2024 tonight?
I move that we add ordinance 35, 2024 to tonight and recommend passage on first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Luns. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Kreinbill, thank you. I will take the vote. Mr. Lunzer?
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbill?
Yes.
I myself vote yes as well, so we will add that to tonight's agenda as well. I'm gonna be dominating the agenda tonight.
Not paying tax.
Last but not least, ordinance 36, 2024, which is an ordinance to make temporary appropriations, which will allow us to open the doors on January 1 and keep doing business. These numbers, of course, will be looked at much more closely as we head toward our March budget and really put the numbers in there that are gonna run our city for the upcoming year. And I won't lie, there's some hard work to be done there. But this is essentially temporary appropriations allowing us to keep the business of the city running for those first 3 months while we develop our budget with better numbers at the end of the year. So hearing that, if Mr. Kreinbill, any questions for the auditor?
All I would ask is I hope we don't get them last meeting of March.
No. So let's hope.
And we get them more than a couple hours before. I know you're working hard and I appreciate it, and, but it's, hopefully we can be looking at those as early as January, late January.
Late January, early February
Yeah.
is my goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's about the time when we get the final numbers from the year, so we know really where we stand.
Yeah, we'll know
'Cause I
carryovers.
was always on the base that when they were trying to get the budget done by the first of January, how do you do that when you don't know? You're guessing.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's just a-
You know, in her case, in Yara's case, she has to close out the year.
Right.
And she can't do that until January first.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But- Well, that's what I mean, when Kelly had the committee and different ones
Right.
had it, Darren and stuff, they tried to get it done by January first. Now, I always thought that was crazy. We're gonna be coming back for appropriations, you know, we don't
Yeah.
know, because we don't know what the number is.
Right.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah, I'd rather guess on the temporaries, not guess, but an educated
Yeah, this is,
assumption
Yeah.
on temporaries and then come back and do a budget
I'm-
with more
And
knowledge.
it's my,
I'm pretty sure the mayor's not planning on making big purchases the first 3 months of the
Nope.
year
and
or
it's,
anything.
it's my understanding we went a lot off of last year's to get
We-
these temporaries, correct?
Yes, we
Yeah.
looked at last year's temporaries, made adjustments where we knew there may be increases, decreases.
Perfect.
To kind of try to be prudent with it, but it is a best guess to get us running into the first quarter of the year. Mrs. Ramos, yes?
Yeah, I had a question. I always thought temporaries were like the first quarter of the year. But we've got 6 months figures here instead of 3.
So that we don't have to come back in February or, you know,
We
March
don't
before
anticipate using
that
all of
quarter
those.
ends. That way we can,
Gives
it's
you
not
more
necessarily,
room
it's
to
not
play.
exactly 3 months worth. No, it's more than that. So we don't have to come back for additional appropriations before we're ready to have the final permanent
But we don't want
appropriation.
the 6 months spent in the first 3
No,
months.
right.
If it
But
is,
it could
those
be-
last 9 months are gonna be
Most
pretty
likely
skinny.
it will not. I can
Yeah, right.
control that. I can, deny purchase orders, but we
Yeah.
just want to make sure that there's enough wages in there because that's a little harder to, you might not know that until you hit post on the payroll, but
So you took last year's budget?
this is mostly this year's what
Expenditures.
departments turned in for this year's budget and divided it in half, and I kind of looked at last year's appropriations, and they're pretty similar. Actually, I think this is less than what we
It is.
submitted for last year's temporary appropriations.
Yep, slightly less.
Yeah.
I looked at that this morning.
Some of those may be less because I think she put in full years for a couple of funds in the appropriation, or the temporaries, and I pretty much slashed all of the funds in half.
So what are we, since we underestimated the medical
they
insurance
said-
last time, how are we gonna handle?
So
I
the
know,
mayor
yeah, I
talked to
emailed you
Pipes,
about
and they
that.
think we're gonna expect about a 20% increase.
20%?
That would start in July, because right now our prices are set until June, so those prices would start in July. And then we're also talking about trying to get it on a January to December, so that we can,
Match our budget
Yeah.
process.
Which they've agreed to do that.
great.
And,
Okay.
20% is just a ballpark figure.
Right,
Pipes is going to try to get that reduced.
Other questions about the temporary appropriations to start the year? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion if we're gonna do something with this.
I'll make a motion to add to ordinance number 36, 2024 tonight's agenda and recommend we pass on first reading.
I'll second.
Thank you both. Mr. Kreinbel, are you in favor?
Yes.
Mr. Lonz, are
Yes.
you in favor? I also am in favor. We will make that motion tonight and add that to tonight's agenda. Is there any other business to come before the committee right now? I know that we're holding on to the income tax allocations, but I kind of want to get a look at the end of the year, see where we sit with carryovers, and make that part of the budget process, kind of like we did last year, so that we know where we are, rather than hashing it out on the floor here without the proper data to actually look at that. So that is still in my committee, but we're gonna kind of handle that after the first of the year. Is there any other business anyone has for the committee? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to
Steve, I got one
adjourn.
more question.
Yes.
For that issue, so that will just continue to go as forward with the percentages until we
Until
take
we make the
action,
change.
and it would switch at that point?
Yes, we
Okay.
will enact the change at that point. Yeah. We enacted that in March of last year along with the budget.
Okay.
Passed both on the same night, because by doing the budget, we were able to finagle some things, and hopefully we can readjust those again this year and put
Alright.
some things back.
Thanks.
Anything else? Now I would entertain it, Dan.
So moved, Chairman.
We are in adjournment at 7:23. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here on this.
All right, this meeting of New Philadelphia City Council will come to order. Would you please rise and remain standing for the invocation and pledge of allegiance? Mr. Rippeth.
Thank you, Mr. President. Would you all please join me in prayer? Heavenly Father, as we draw near to the celebration of the greatest gift that we could ever expect, the birth of your Son, Jesus, we just bring our praise and our glory to you, Lord. We ask that you inhabit this meeting here tonight and that you give us wisdom, give us the ability to make good decisions for this city. Lord, we thank you that we live in a city like New Philadelphia. We are so blessed by all the good things that go on here, and we can feel your hand upon it, Lord. So in this season where we celebrate your Son's birth, we also just want to thank you for what you do for us. Father, we pray that you will continue to watch over all of our servants, all of our administrators, those who take care of our roads and take care of keeping us safe from fire and from any kind of villainous activity out there, Lord, that you just put a hedge of protection around them in this holiday season. More importantly, we just pray a blessing upon this city and all that you have in store for us in the coming year. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome to our last December council meeting. We'll start off with roll call.
Mr.
Kreinbell.
Here.
Mr. Lanzer.
Here.
Mr. Pace.
Present.
Mrs. Ramos.
Here.
Mr. Rippeth.
Present.
Mr. Simmelink.
President?
Mr. Walker.
All right, let it be known that Mr. Walker and Mr. Fate are excused from tonight's council meeting. Agenda. Everybody's had a chance to review the agenda. Are there any additions to the
Yes,
agenda?
Mr. President, I have three. Would you like them all or one at a time?
You can do them all.
I would like to add to tonight, Resolution 23, 2024, Ordinance 35, 2024, and Ordinance 36, 2024 to tonight's agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Lancer. Discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the additions.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rippon. Need a second?
I'll
Mr.
second.
Lanzer? In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, agenda has been approved. Minutes, everybody's had a chance to review the minutes from our last council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve. Thank you, Mr. Pace. Thank you, Mr. Rippeth. Any discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Abstain.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, minutes have been approved. Correspondence, Ms. Corbett.
To Councilman Rippeth from President Kemp. This is dated December 19th, 2024. This is an email titled, "Please assign to Mr. Rippeth Committee," with Ordinance 35, 2024 as the attachment. To Councilman Lanzer from President Kemp, dated December 23rd, 2024. This is an email titled, "Please assign to Mr. Lanzer's Committee," and it had Resolution 23, 2024 as the attachment. To Council and Administration from Auditor Heather Denham, dated December 23rd, 2024. This is an email titled 2025 Temporary Appropriations. To Councilman Rippeth from President Kemp, dated December 23rd, 2024. This is an email regarding Resolution 2023-2024 that was previously assigned to Mr. Lanzer's committee. President Kemp stated that he is reassigning the resolution to Mr. Rippeth's committee for consideration, as this needs immediate action, and Mr. Rippeth is the only council person having a committee meeting this evening. And to Council and Administration from Mayor Day, dated December 23rd, 2024, the mayor's report. And that concludes correspondence for this evening, Mr.
All
President.
right, thank you, Ms. Corbett. We'll move into our administrative reports. As always, first up, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members, fellow administrators, and guests. First of all, I want to thank council for all of your efforts this year to improve the city. It takes teamwork to move projects forward, and I think we've done a darn good job of that this year. I just want to say that I'm grateful for your help, and I listed some of the accomplishments that we had this year in the report that I sent you, and also ran down some things in 2025. 2025 is going to be another busy year in the city, and I just want to say I appreciate your help. But I'd like to take the rest of my time here to give best wishes to Councilman Mitch Pace. It's his final regular council meeting.
Maybe.
Hopefully the last meeting of the year.
Yes.
And as we all know, Mitch is going to become Tuscarawas County's next county commissioner on New Year's Day.
Congratulations.
He's shown as a city council member, the county is gaining a young, enthusiastic leader who strives to improve our quality of life and champion pro-family and pro-business initiatives. I urge you, Commissioner Pace, to have the county government take a more leading role in economic development and land use planning here in Tuscarawas County. We need to see that leadership from the top. And I will continue to urge the county to become more active in improving downtown New Philadelphia because it's your home too. So I just want to say congratulations, the best of luck, and we're all counting on you.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to give the remainder of my time, Mr. President, to Mr. Tom Farbizo, who's here to give us some Christmas gifts, right, Tom?
That's correct.
All right. You have the floor.
Tom Farbizo, 936 3rd Street Northwest, New Philadelphia. I'm here tonight, honored to be here representing Dr. Richard Verratti and the Quaker Foundation, Quaker Digital Foundation, excuse me. I've been making this an annual trip. It so happened to work out it's Christmas time, and I do have a couple gifts tonight. I started out by council members giving you, Mr. Rippus said it's a potato chip. You can do what you want. It's a magnet. It'll fit on there. But anyway, I highlighted that page. It's page number 5. The reason why I put that clip there, thank you to the mayor and council for their foresight. We were able to make available this past year at commencement 9 scholarships, and we were able to award $9,250. And you can see who the students are, you can see their names, and you can see what they received. And I'm happy to tell you, out of this group, I think 8 of them have done what they were supposed to and taken their money and received it. We offer these as a one-time scholarship, just so you know. But the program's starting to pick up a lot more energy, so to speak. Happy tonight to present to the mayor, and there's 2 checks. I've always done it with 2 checks. The first one is for the ads on the airport windows. We've got a check for $3,840 for the ads, and that's 40% of the ads that are at the airport windows. And then on the city sanitation trucks, I have a check for $2,880. That's 40% of the ads that are on the sanitation trucks. And I hope, Mayor, we get some more economic development so we could get a few more sanitation trucks on the road so I could sell some more advertising on there.
We're working on it, Mr. Barbizo.
That'd be great. I appreciate that. So the other thing I'd like to tell you, since the program was initiated, we've paid to the city of New Philadelphia $37,300. I know that's a minuscule thing in your budget, but still $37,000 is a pretty nice gift. Plus you received all new energy efficient windows at the airport. So with that, I would be happy to entertain any questions that you may have at this point in time. again.
job.
Oh, yeah,
Just to say that, thank you for this. I mean, it's a great program. I said, when we first began, it was kind of contentious. It wasn't voted in unanimously, and, I think it's a great thing. I mean, we got all those new windows down there at the airport and on the trucks. We just have to figure out some new vehicles. We can put some more advertising on, I don't know.
The mayor's car?
yes.
Service director's card.
Mr. Farbizo, are all the trucks, sanitation trucks, do they have ads on them?
Yes, yes. Yeah, they all have ads on.
And there's always
We have, we actually have, help me out on this, Ron, I think we have a couple out of service that we left ads on in case a truck goes out of service with an ad on, there's one on there.
Yes, there
Usually
is.
what we try to do.
Yeah, because 4 run every day, and then if we get one out of service, or they pull maintenance on it, or for some reason one's out for 3 days, they take out the other truck and it has ads on it. So yes, you're right, Tom.
The other thing about that too, I will bring this up, way back when we started the program with the main hangar at the airport, Buckeye Career Center, thanks to the city, they supplied the material, but the electric department, kids learn to be electricians, they did all the wiring and lit that parking lot down there, not only to display the ads at night, but for a safety thing too also. So,
Yeah.
worked out real well.
It really has.
Yeah. Again, thank you very much, and Mayor, here are the 2 checks.
Let's get a picture.
Oh, yes.
Well, here, we stand by the podium so we can get the city logo.
Oh, yeah.
Contentious.
Very contentious. There was the main argument was the advertising, and I'm like, we're already doing it.
Here, yeah.
Pepsi, umbrellas.
Thanks, Darren, Tom. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom. That concludes my report, Mr. President. Any questions?
All right, any questions for the mayor? Hearing none, move on. Service Director, Mr. McAbeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few things are wrapping up. Number 1 is leaves. We took 1 truck out of service now. We have the large truck running, that's all at this time. Have a couple spots that, really now all we're doing is going around, a certain part of town, someone saying, hey, we still have some leaves, so they're going to it. So I'd urge anybody in council, if you hear of anything or see a spot, just, let Tammy know down at, General Services, Ray or I, anybody, so we can go out there and get it. We like to try to wrap it up by the first of the year. Because once that wraps up, typically we start, doing trees and then we're actually cold patching. So that's what the guys are doing basically out of General Services this time if they're not plowing or salting or anything like that. They're out cold patching, which you already started some of that, cold mixing now. When you take one crew out, they go to cold mix. I know Ray has started on stumps. He's called a bunch of them in. If you see around town, got busy with cutting trees in the last 5 or 6 years. Now we got to try to catch up on stumps. So he called over 40 of them in the last 3 days. So we got to go out there and get those done within 14 days. Or call another oops ticket, so it's not that crucial. But I just wanted to make everybody aware, if anybody gets a call from anybody, just have them 339-2121, have them in the spot, we'll go down and pick them up. I know there was down a couple spots on the south side today when I talked with Ray, and they're just really just hit and miss. But that's no big deal, so we just get them done. But just make sure someone calls in, or like anybody sees it, call us. Also, at the last meeting, we had that issue with the line there on North Avenue, northeast, that was leaking. Here what happened is they brought in leak detectors, which we bring them in every year after flushing, because flushing brings out the weaknesses in your system, and they're amazing. I've seen them work many times. You can have a line from here to Front Street, and you'd have no idea where it's at, and be like, dig there, and it's like they're 6 inches. Long story short, they brought them in, they found no leaks. They didn't airtight it right enough and didn't burp it long enough to come out through the, so in other words, all on their own deal, and they had to put another valve and everything, like, let's air this thing up one last time. Long story short, the line was fine, they just didn't prepare it right for the air test to hold that pressure. So everything is fine, there was no leaks on that, which, I'm just happy of that. Also, as I reported last time, as we all know, Franklin Square is wrapped up. we'll do a final walkthrough. We have some pavement issues there that are a problem. We got a lot of cleanup issues that will be a problem that have to be addressed. But until springtime comes, we won't do a final walkthrough. In the same way with the, connector trail. We have some areas there that are laying water. We recognize 7 spots out there. But again, until the spring, they can come mill out and maybe put some more fill in. Until the spring comes, we're just stuck with what we have at this point. Also, just wanted to make council aware that you'll see some legislation come for an ARC grant, Appalachian Regional Commission grant, for $250,000. It's one of those ones that we had to go through a full grant application. We was awarded it on a, what do we say, we did an abbreviated one. We finished it on Friday, so we'll have legislation coming. And what that is for, down on 21st Street, which is down towards the industrial park, we run underneath 250 there also. That line is better than the one we did about 4 years ago underneath 250. It's not in a vault and all that, but we was able to get a $250,000 grant for that project. The total on that's $590,000, but just, you'll see a grant agreement come through, and I'll explain this that time. I'm sure we're gonna have a meeting about it, but just letting you know that's what that's gonna be for. I believe, like, again, also, I guess with patching, Ray had asked me to say too, if you guys see some patching, because a lot of the stuff now is in alleys, because we have the mains looking so good. So if you get anybody that's got something in an alley or anything like that, I got a call today from Ashwood Lane. So that's what I'm seeing. So again, he just urged me to ask you guys, if you guys see anything like that, just call in.
Actually, I just saw one the other day on Tell.
Okay? I got it. You got it. That's the end of my report. Sorry, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. McAfee. Mr. Farbizo. Sure.
Hey, Ron, it might be a good idea on your discretion, the next time you do that, the lines underneath the stadium, it's been 20 years since they ran that, all the leak.
The leak
Yeah,
detector.
Yeah, it's been, it's up to you, Ron.
No.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, we'll
since-
do it the next time we flush.
Yeah, it's been 20 years since they ran that, whatever you call it, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's like an inverted sock or whatever, but it's
Okay.
been 20 years since they did that.
I'm glad you stopped me. I'm glad you stopped me too, because I want to echo what the mayor had said about Mitch. I don't want to lose you, Mitch, because of what has been going on with the field and the, you took those head on, and they've never looked this good. No one has ever done that. I know now, with you doing that, don't lose that fire for us, because without you, and we're still gonna need you for the trout derby, so we know that. We all met with the new pond maintenance crew, Aqueduct last week, and I know you was there, and so don't lose that. We're fortunate with Mr. Crimebill and yourself as far as to take that lead on so many of the park projects, and as we all know, we have that grant in. We're waiting on that. We should get to know something in that in the next month or so to what we can do down there. As we all know, we have $300,000. We're just trying to maximize that and try to get a pavilion, a restroom, whatever we can end up doing down there. But I appreciate that, Mitch, and please don't go far, especially when it comes to the trout derby.
No, I don't. No, I don't plan on going far.
All right. But thank you, Mr. President.
We know where he lives.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can walk to his office too.
I could throw stones in his house.
Hey, Joe, before we move on, Joe, what was the amount of those checks? We're gonna do how much?
Heather, where they
Oh,
at?
Heather's got it, okay.
Here's one for $2,880. That's for the sanitation truck. And then the windows is $3,840.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, move on, Safety Director, Mr. Popham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Your report, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
All right, thank you. Auditor Heather, Mrs. Denham.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to just thank everybody for their support, and I apologize that it's taken so long to get the 2025 temporary appropriations to you. This has been a learning curve, and have to make sure that we get through 2024 before I can, think about the 2025. But I do, I've had a lot of support from everybody, and I really appreciate that. And I hope that we can start to get things moving a little bit quicker, that I can get things moving a little bit quicker. So that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Yes, 2025 is gonna be a better year.
I hope so.
All right, move on to treasurer, Mr. Gerber.
No report, sir.
All right, thank you, Tom. Mr. Fate is excused tonight. We'll move on to our board commission reports. Planning Commission, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Planning Commission will be meeting the second Tuesday of January at 1 PM here in council chambers. And we'll continue our discussions with the New Philadelphia School Administration.
All right. Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. McAbeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board of Zoning Appeals will meet January 14th at 5 PM here in council chambers.
All right. Airport Commissioner, Mr. Lanzer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Airport Commission did not meet in December, but we will be meeting the second Tuesday of January at 6 PM at the Airport Harry Cleaver Meeting Room.
All right. Park Board, last meeting, Mr.
Last meeting,
Pace.
thank you, Mr. President, we met last Wednesday. Just a couple quick updates on the park. The Field 1 project, the backstop is almost completed. The Field 1 Turf Tuscarora Diamond Committee received a $50,000 grant from Reeves Foundation. That'll be used towards the dugouts. It'll be completed after the 2025 season, so mid-May. And then, I think it was also in the mayor's report, RTY had received $135,000 roughly for 3 new rides where the old batting cages were. 3 little kiddie rides, so I think they're gonna try to get that up and running by opening day, but
Great.
there might be some timing there, but, and as far as the trout derby goes, service director, I don't plan on going anywhere with that.
I know you don't.
And for the folks that are watching on YouTube, they're still catching them out there. And it
Right.
seems to me as if they're growing.
Yeah.
I've gotten some pictures
Yeah.
and 6 to 8 pounders.
Got some and grill them up for Christmas, right?
Yeah, that's true, yeah, you got it. So that's all I have, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pace. Health Board, Mr. Simmelink.
Health Board meets on the 8th of January at noon in this room. They had a meeting last week in Uncle Primo's, which was a delicious meeting, and all's going well. And Uncle Primo's passed the inspection, it's a good, healthy place. So encourage everybody to go there.
All right. All right, we'll move into our council committee reports. Finance, Mr. Rippeth.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met tonight at 7 o'clock here in council chambers. We had 3 major issues in front of us. Resolution 23, 2024, Ordinance 35, 2024, Ordinance 36, 2024. The committee voted unanimously to put those on tonight's agenda and to ask for passage on first reading if at all possible. And then we adjourned at 7:23. I would just like to thank everybody here at council for a great year and just wish you all a very happy and safe holiday.
All right, thank you. Public Works and Economic Development, Mr. Lanzer.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening.
All right, Safety, Health and Service, Mr. Simmerlink.
No report, sir.
Zone and Annexation, Mrs. Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. President, no report.
All right, Salary, Mr. Cranbill.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening.
All right. Cemetery, Mr. Pace.
Thank you, Mr. President. Cemetery Board met last Thursday, and they are working with VFW Post 1445 on a neat little project to have a little memorial section for veterans from the city of New Philly, and that's an ongoing project, but something that I feel is needed, and the VFW is great. Not only, they give a lot back to the community for various projects, so we can't thank them enough, so that's all I have.
All right.
Councilman Pace, if I would,
Yeah.
like say, just got an email from Genevieve, and they've committed $20,000 to it. Just got it, so I just showed it to the mayor, so we'll try to do something.
Where will it be at?
Right now, still trying to pick out a spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be in the new cemetery, though.
Yeah, the new cemetery, on either side of the office, we haven't really picked a spot yet, one of those 2 sides. Won't be out anywhere, it'll be right there.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Mitch.
Oh, you're good.
Man, that's great news.
Yes, right.
All right, visitors' comments. The floor is now open for visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address council should rise, state your name and address, and address all comments to the chair. You will have 5 minutes. Match your speeches. You gonna talk or anything? Okay. Merry Christmas, right? There you go. All right, council comments. Yes, Mr.
I just got a
Pace.
couple quick comments. Mayor, Service Director, thank you for the nice comments, certainly appreciate it. I've enjoyed my time on council, enjoyed working with everybody. I know being an elected official isn't what everybody wants to do, but everybody sitting in this room makes sacrifices to do it. And being a citizen of New Philly, I certainly appreciate it, and I've really enjoyed city council and look forward to working as your county commissioner. I'll be right across the street. I've got a lot to learn, but looking forward to it, and I'll certainly be working hard for you, so. And I won't be leaving the baseball or the trout derby. And I think everybody knows where I live, so.
Yeah,
And everybody's got my phone number, so.
Again, we know where you live.
I appreciate everybody. So,
All
and
right.
Merry Christmas.
Again, thank you
I
for,
just wanted-
yes, Mr. Simley.
I was just, oh, go ahead, you're first.
I'm first.
Yes.
No, I want to wish Mitch great success.
Thank
you. Great on here. I want to appreciate all of your help and guidance and everything else in the past year. Enjoyed the first year on here. Next year, like I said earlier, I'm going to get smarter. With
got one week.
Ron's help. Pardon me?
Got 1 week.
Yeah, I know. Well, Ron and Don, with Ron and Don's help. No, there's 3 of us, the 3 guys along
Yes.
here. Finishing up our first year, appreciate everybody's guidance and support. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right, great comments, thank you. Mr. Cranbill.
I just want to wish Mitch good luck, and I appreciate all your help in year 1. I know I talked to you more than probably anybody on council getting through year 1 with help and knowledge, and I hope someone helps you as much as you helped me through year 1, and good luck.
Appreciate
And Merry
it.
Christmas to everybody.
All right, thank you for those comments. Yes, again, everybody, it's time to spend some time and celebrate the birth of our son, Jesus Christ, and spend some time with our families. So I do also wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Move on to our legislative agenda. Ms. Courtwright.
Ordinance number 35, 2024, an ordinance by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Ohio, amending and adjusting the permanent appropriations ordinance for the year 2024 and declaring an emergency, first
Is
reading.
there any action taken by council on this?
Mr. President, I move that we suspend the rules and vote on ordinance 35, 2024
Do I
tonight.
have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Granville, thank you. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Similink.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Rippeth,
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I would move that we pass that ordinance tonight, 35, 2024.
do I have a second? Mr. Granville, thank you. In discussion by the community, administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Similink.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 35, 2024 has passed.
Ordinance number 36, 2024, an ordinance to make temporary appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of New Philadelphia, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and declaring an emergency, first reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on this ordinance tonight?
Mr.
Ripp-
President.
Yes,
Thank you. I would ask that we suspend the rules so that we can vote on ordinance 36, 2024
thank
tonight.
you, Mr. Need a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Cranville, thank you. Any discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Similink.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right, rules have been suspended. Mr. Rippeth,
I would move that we pass ordinance 36, 2024 this evening.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Cranville. In discussion by the community, administration, council, Roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 36, 2024 is passed.
Amended Resolution 21, 2024, a resolution by the Council of the City of New Philadelphia, Ohio, to authorize and direct the mayor to enter into a lease amendment with the Transonic Companies for the city-owned property located at 444 Bank Lane, Southwest, New Philadelphia, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Is there any action taken by council on this resolution tonight? All right, here none, we held for our next regularly scheduled council meeting.
Resolution number 23, 2024, a resolution enacted by the City of New Philadelphia, Tuscarawas County, Ohio, authorizing the service director to enter into an agreement with the Director of Transportation for the completion of a project for pavement rehabilitation of multiple roadways and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Is there any action to be taken by council on the resolution tonight? Mr. Lonzer?
Yes, Mr. President, I move that we suspend the rules on resolution 23, 2024.
Do I have a second?
Second that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rippeth. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Lonzer,
Yes, I move that we pass resolution 23, 2024.
do I have a second?
Yes, I would second
All
that.
right, thank you, Mr. Rippeth. In discussion by community, administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lanzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Kreinbell.
Yes.
Mr. Pace.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink.
Yes.
All right, resolution 23, 2024 is
And
passed.
that concludes legislation for this
All
evening.
right, thank you, Ms. Courtwright. Is there any unfinished or old business? Is there any new business for council tonight? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. President, and Merry Christmas to
We
all.
adjourn at 8:02.
All a good night.
Before forgetting, everybody,